Do you know where your food comes from? Do you know what your food ate before it came to you? Do you know the life your food lived before it came to your plate? Well, do you?
Now, I'll be honest, we didn't used to know. We used to go into Kroger or Walmart or Publix or Lowe's, and we would go in there to those places and we would purchase our chicken or our eggs or our beef or our pork. We would purchase those things from the store, and ignorantly, we had no idea. We were just completely unaware of where our food was coming from. I mean, obviously we knew it was coming from a chicken, and we knew it was coming from a pig, and we knew it was coming from a cow. We knew where it was coming from, but we didn't have an idea of what kind of life it lived, or what it ate, or what it experienced, or even the people that produced it. We had no idea about any of those things. But a few months ago at the Blythewood Farmers Market, we had the opportunity to meet Jackie and Steve and hear their story.
My name's Steve Acuff, and this is
Jackie Cavlin.
We started up on Cedar Knoll Farm 3 years ago. We really got interested in some backyard farming and seeing what other people were doing. Our processes are the bourbon red turkey is what we specialize in. We also do the Dominique chickens, two breeds that are heritage breeds.
Different bird, takes a lot longer to grow. Both of them do, but the flavors that you get from them are phenomenal.
The chickens you find in the grocery store or commercial chickens are the Cornish cross. They really grow between 8 to 12 weeks from birth
In a house.
to the process. They're in a house. Sometimes they put them in a coop or a small coop and drag them around. Really, if you do the history on those type of birds, they can. When it comes to processing time, they're not able to stand on their own. They're laying down. They're not very clean when you really look at the history of our birds, both the chickens and the turkeys. They take about 5 months to mature, 24 weeks basically, when we do the processing on them. So they're out ranging in the woods, they're in the pasture, they're out all day long, and they're wandering through digging through the dirt, digging through the ground, getting the bugs, the nutrients. And,
Right.
Jackie's.
And we supplement them.
Yeah.
We grow plants just for our birds, other than what they're picking off of our property. Like in the fall, the turkeys go crazy over the acorns, and the chickens are always scratching for the worms. It's true. They really do that, and they love it, and they eat the bugs. But we grow like comfrey for them, and we grow a lot of our herbs to give to our chickens because they have a lot of antimicrobial properties that help. It also helps clear we don't use antibiotics, but the herbs help keep them healthy. Our birds don't eat just the sack chicken feed that a lot of your commercial birds have.
You're giving them quality of life.
Exactly.
And they're not purely functional, but they are given a quality of life.
That's right. And we thank each one of them when we have to go to harvest. We thank each one of them, and I always tear up. But it's part of the process. They wouldn't be here unless we had collected their eggs from their mothers and raised them up, and it's part of the process. But we do thank them for what they do for us and how they feed us and sustain us.
And all that goes into the flavor of the meat. When you eat the meat, it's kind of got a bad label, but when you eat the meat, you can tell the flavor of the chicken. And you taste the flavor. You don't get all that big fat meat. You get really healthy meat.
Clean
Right.
meat.
Yeah.
From that point on, we wanted to take our kids up to their farm and see what it was that they were doing up there, because we wanted them to know. We wanted them to know where their food was coming from. We wanted them to see Steve and Jackie's passion about the food that they were eating. And we wanted them to see that it's possible to take the life of an animal and still respect that that animal is a life and a gift from God. It's God's provision for our sustenance.
when we do everything, we'll put them in the cones over here. We'll scald them for a little bit, and it's roughly about a minute at 145, 150 degrees. 145 is best, and then we'll put them in the plucker and pluck them all off, and then I'll bring them over here. When we bring them over here, we will cut the legs off of them and cut the necks off of them, and we'll clean them up really good in the process between. And then Jackie will clean out the insides when she gets to it over here on the other end. Then we'll put them all on ice after that, and let them chill, and we'll go through the whole process. Fortunately, we only have about 11 today that we're going to do. These are the hens, and Aaron is our keeper. He's going to be the father of the rest of the breeds as we produce more.
Oh, okay.
We got a few turkeys and guineas in here, and then all the cockles we're going to do today are back here. Thank them for what they're about to provide for us. When we keep them upside down, it kind of helps them to relax a little bit when all that blood kind of goes to their head.
Right.
So we try to keep them upside down from this point.
Keep them calm.
Yeah, definitely. They do get away from you from time to time. Good done, everybody.
And I might cry, so don't look.
We thank them for what they're about to provide for us, for the services that they give us. We thank them for the food that they're about to give us and the yumminess that they were put here for. Thank you. Bless you, bud. Bless you. We like to cut them right behind the neck and the artery right here.
One time, so
One
you
time.
don't touch or torture them.
I try to hold them right on the ear.
You have to treat them with respect.
So thank you, buddy. Thank you, buddy, for what you provide.
You got them?
Got them. Then we hold them, we let them bleed out. It takes about a minute, 2 minutes to do the bleeding out. And then they'll probably cure a little bit before it's final, and we just let them rest. And then we'll take them to the next step.
We hatch these birds for this purpose.
Right.
Those and the pullets to go on to be hens, to be layers for someone. They wouldn't even be here if we'd not gone to the process of hatching them and raising them. So, and they had a great life. I mean, this is the worst day of their life.
Right.
They've, been out here pecking and eating worms and bugs and weeds and boiled eggs and herbs.
He's gone. Now, the water temperature should be about 145. It's kind of like perfect. And 150 is pushing it, so we want to try to, the temperature right now is just a little bit
Yeah,
under
you don't want to
150.
burn the skin, or you don't want to cook them.
We put a little bit of Dawn in the water, kind of an antibacterial to help clean them and when we do this process.
Well, it helps
And
take a
then-
lot of the oils out too.
And then we'll put them in here and we'll stir them around a little bit.
No.
What do you say, Kendra or Noah?
It looks like a naked chicken.
Yeah, it does. Looks like one of those rubber chickens, doesn't it?
I'm going to do here is kind of a two-step process. The joint in the foot and the lower part where the knuckle is, I'm going to cut it right about there. You'll feel the tension on there, and then come to the front, do the same thing, then the sides. And there's a little cartridge in there, but for the most part, there we go. Once again, thank you, little buddy, for everything.
Do you know where your food comes from? 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 I know. I know. I know.
We know.
Indeed, we do know.
So it says up on Cedar Knoll, and it's a dozen eggs. They have eggs too.
That's wonderful.
And look at this. This is what's neat. Date of lay. So like the day they were produced, 6/8, June 8th, and it's the 11th. Our
Some
eggs
fresh
for
eggs.
tonight, we're having Brenner breakfast for dinner. 3 days old. That's it. Those cartons of eggs from Walmart, they're not 3 days old.
No.
So we know.
We know.
I know.
That's right. Thank you for choosing to check out our video blog and joining us on this journey to thriving. Please be sure to click the link to subscribe. That way you can follow our journeys as we are going through all sorts of adventures and maybe even some misadventures through life.
Thank